Hey everybody, so today I'm going to make a video for you about motivation to study really. I've called this video Can't Be Asked to Study because frankly I think that's the attitude of many people who either are, incessant procrastinators or they prefer to play PlayStation over reading novels, or, there are so many people who are at school. I mean, everyone goes to school, don't they? And not everyone is like always motivated, and not everyone's always driven to study quite as we all should, really. So I've made a video about how you can motivate yourself, what things you can do to make you more inclined to study and make you feel, more driven towards success, basically. So I think the first thing is, this is applicable for either like school age, like children, teenagers, and sixth formers. Less applicable for university students because you don't really have the same environment, and things are very different when you're at university, basically. But anyway, the first thing is be liked by your teachers and really make an effort with them. So that means like have all your homework in on time, make sure everything's perfectly neat with like no spelling errors, no grammatical mistakes. Don't hand your essays in on the day when they've been crumpled up in your bag, because you're going to look like a lazy bum slob, basically, and that is no way to impress your teachers. Personally, I have felt in the past that like the need to please teachers can be, extremely motivating and powerful. I was a bit of a sycophant and a swot at school, if I'm honest. But my teachers really liked me, and, that was almost an incentive for me to work harder because, I was pleased to be in their good books and I was keen to maintain that. So that's always helped by, impressing them. So if you can think about it like that, then maybe that's an incentive for you to try harder as well, really. So your teachers have chosen to pursue their subject, as a career, and clearly it means a lot to them. You could argue that they couldn't get a better job, but that's an aside. So imagine like what a nice feeling it is for you, their student, their pupil, to show the same interest in like chemical entropy or differential calculus. It makes them feel really good that you care about what they have to say, and that you'll feel good about it as well because you will build a rapport with a teacher like that. And establishing that kind of relationship will make them like you more. It'll make you more inclined to work harder for them, and ultimately you'll do better for it. So show an interest in the subject you're studying. If you're doing A-levels, if you're not really a chemistry whiz, then just show an interest, like almost fake it to make it, really. I know that not everyone is born to be a whiz in every subject, and not everyone is a born mathematician, not everyone's a born novel writing, essay writing, wordy, verbose freak. But yeah, you can really fake it to make it in some subjects. And, if you read widely enough around a topic that you'll be studying, if you, swat up over the week so that you're prepared for the next lesson when you're going to be talking about something you haven't discussed yet in class, and you already know what's going to happen and you already know the answers. It's incredibly motivating and feels really good to be so ahead of the game like that. It will just make your life so much easier, and your teachers will really value you for it, because you want to be like driving the lesson. You want to be, sitting at the front. I know that sounds really lame to some people, but you want to show that you have an interest and that it matters to you, because actually it does. Qualifications are for life. Silly boyfriends and girlfriends at high school aren't. I know that's controversial to say that, but there we are. Another thing I would recommend is watching the film The History Boys. I don't know how many of you have even heard of this film. It was originally an Alan Bennett play. Very, very funny. It's got, I don't even know who, Dominic Cooper plays the lead role. He's a very popular actor these days. extremely motivating, extremely inspiring. It's about a group of boys who are trying to get into Oxford and Cambridge, and it's honestly, you will absolutely love it. It is guaranteed to make you feel like you just want to study like there's no tomorrow, believe me. So right, back to like teachers and stuff. Once you've built a rapport with your teachers, have a goal in your mind, and don't be afraid of aiming high. I mean, I've spoken about the history boys and the Oxford and Cambridge streams and stuff like that, but I understand that that's not for everybody, and that those aren't realistically attainable goals for a lot of people. But visit universities, pore over their prospectuses, and try to imagine yourself at that university. And I even printed off pictures of universities, put them on my wall, and I would look at them and sort of like keep it in my mind that is what I wanted to do. And it really was very motivating. If ever my motivation waned or anything, I would look at that, I would envisage myself in the university, study alongside, all these brilliant scholars, and I would think, you know what, I want to do that, and I'm going to get out of this room, get off this laptop, YouTube, and study my arse off, because, it is worth it, and it pays off, and you will never regret it, because you just won't. So, as I said before, if you really want to do well, and you really want to kind of like engage in the subject, you really have to read around the subject. So say you're studying English literature, and you're studying a novel, for example, like To the Lighthouse by Virginia Woolf. It's really very important and very useful to read around what you're studying. So for Virginia Woolf, you might want to read some feminist literature. You might want to read some more from the Bloomsbury group writers. You might want to read À la recherche de temps perdu by Marcel Proust. Things that are, involved and included in the sort of broader topic. Even in like mathematics, if you're reading about, differentiation, I'm not even one to talk to about this, really. I'm terrible at mathematics. But read around the subject if you can. Go on the internet, look through encyclopedias, see what more there is to know. And basically, you don't have to know it all in great depth, but knowing even a bit about it can really inform you and enhance your understanding. So right, what can you do if your motivation starts to ebb? Well, I would say that, a good night's sleep is always what I would recommend. Having sufficient energy and feeling good and feeling really healthy is always going to improve your mood and de-stress you, which, you need to be in the right frame of mind if you want to revise, if you want to, just study for the first time and learn. You need to be able to focus, and, being in optimal sort of health and having a lot of energy is really important for that. Another thing I would say is team up with people with the same goals as you, get friendly with all the bright kids at school, sit away from your distracting friends, and, show your teachers that studying and doing well is really important to you. Actively making these changes will reinforce to you that, studying is what you want to do, and that you will do whatever is within your power to get the grades that you need. So, it really is important. I remember during my GCSEs, I did, I'm just saying as an example, I did geography. And my teacher really hated me for a long time because I was sitting at the back with like my cool kid friends, and, I was a chatterbox like no one's business. And, she knew I was bright, but I was, she would often tell me off because I was easily distracted because, I was with a bit of a crazy group at the back. And you know what, during the day my GCSEs started, like, year 10 and all that, I sat straight at the front with someone I didn't like, some total nerd, and, I completely sacrificed the whole friendship thing, and, I did really well, got an A-star. So it's worth it because you can do really well. And, before that, she was predicting I'd get a C or something, which was ridiculous anyway, but you know what I mean? It can be done. Show your teachers you care. Show them you want to do it. Be liked. It's so important. You have no idea. So another thing is organisation. I've said this in another video and I cannot reiterate enough how important it is, and it will make your life so much easier, just having everything in its right place. You know, nobody wants to be shuffling through random bits of paper, trying to figure out what's relevant to where and, you know, where it all slots in. And, you know, you need to have your lever arch files, you know, ideally one or more per subject. You know, have everything organised, be as neat as possible. You know, if you look at your stuff, if you look at your notes and you look at your, you know, your study area and everything's tidy, everything's neat, it declutters your brain and you're more able to just enter that situation and feel in control, and nothing will be all over the place. There's going to be no papers like all over the floor, and, you know, that kind of environment is just going to stress you out and make you feel like, oh God, I can't even deal with this. So, you know, just do it. It will make you more inclined to study. But what if now you still can't be bothered? What if you still cannot be asked to study, right? Make your parents take control. You know, have them ban things that distract you, your laptop, your PlayStation, your Xbox 360, you know, sensor movement, Wii Dance Fit things, you know, get rid of them. You know, make your parents drop you off at the library at the weekend for a good 6-hour revision sesh and, you know, study uninterrupted. You know, I know how easy it is to feel like, a bit of YouTube, you know, a little bit of Hotmail, you know, just don't even go there because it's so tempting. And, you know, your parents won't know any better. They'll think, you know, their little whiz kids is sitting upstairs, you know, studying away, when actually the reality is, you know, you're just sitting there on Facebook chat, you know, and it's no good. You need to be focused, and you can't, you know, live in denial and live in this procrastinator's dreamland, because that is never going to do any good for you and your results. I know it's hard though. I do appreciate that, but that's no excuse. So, you know, if, you know, the thought of getting into a good university isn't incentive enough, you know, there's always a bribe. You know, there's always a monetary incentive. You know, get your parents to agree some kind of like monetary grading system. So, you know, if you achieve an A grade, you know, say, can that be 100 quid? If you achieve a B, say maybe £70, you know, something like that. I know that it's really hard for some people to find the motivation in their belly to study, because frankly, not everybody is academic and not everybody feels the same way or feels as driven to study as maybe others do. But, you know, if monetary incentives are what is required for you to work harder, study harder, you know, it doesn't even need to be like cash. It could be, you know, they could pay for your part of a holiday with your friends, or, you know, buy you, you know, a new denim jacket or something, I don't know. Whatever excites you, whatever motivates you to work harder, you know, there is some kind of arrangement that can be agreed to with your parents, you know, if they're so inclined. I mean, not everyone's as lucky as me. Not that I was motivated by money, of course. Anyway, I'm going to go now. I hope that's been helpful. There's been massive requests for motivation videos, study videos. And if this has been helpful, I'm really grateful. So thanks, everybody. Capiche. Capisce.